All right, everybody, come on in. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk podcast with Maggie and Lucy. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. You may know me for my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. And together with Lucy, we are the proud founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman, where we have classes for ladies of all ages. Our flagship course, we're at the halfway point. We just wrapped up a lesson on social graces with the ladies. We teach elegance. We teach etiquette, leading with femininity. We also have a relationship basics class if you're just getting started, and registration is open for our advanced class for wife lessons. That one will start March 8th. We teach everything live, and you have lifetime access to the materials. So that's what we do in the real world, but we'd like to come here with you all twice a week in the virtual world, and we like to share from our perspective. We believe the older women should teach the young, so that's what we do here from our lived experience. Lucy and I have a combined over 40 years of marriage experience. So ladies, I always say, if your mother didn't teach you how to be a good woman to a good man, maybe you can learn from us. What would you add, Lucy?
Hello, Maggie. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Sunkiss. So quick to send us their love immediately. So yes, I am Lucy. I do have a small channel that has content about femininity, elegance, and things that impact women over a certain age. And the video today is going to be about boundaries. And it's mostly focused on us women, and how sometimes we can, modern femininity has allowed us to get out of pocket. And unfortunately, we are seeing the consequences now. So yeah, today's is going to be very interesting.
All right, everybody. I see you all coming in already. Thank you, Sunkiss, for the $1.99. He says blessings to you both, and thank you for the flowers and the love. We see Quasia's here. The Condemned is here. Erin Laura is here. Just another Mark says, let me go get my boundary list. I'll be right back. So thank you all. So 2 disclaimers, and then we're going to get right into it. So Lucy and I come from traditional backgrounds. We prioritize marriage and family. So if you want to do something other than that, you might not be happy here. We are here for the young women who want to prioritize relationships in their prime years. And again, if you want to watch the video without our commentary, the link is in the description. We are reacting to the Happy Wife School. Lucy has sent another video over. This one's about 10 minutes. So ladies, buckle up. You saw the title. This one is 5 non-negotiable. So she's not talking to y'all about it. Non-negotiable boundaries good men must have with their wives. Emphasis on the wives, ladies, before you get all upset. All right. So I know I've been struggling the last few weeks. I'm going to play this, not touch anything, and see how it goes. Oh my goodness, Tavis TV coming in with the $15. Hello, Maggie and Luke Casey. Thank you all so much. It just always surprises me how much we have men in our spaces supporting us. You all, please check out Tavis TV. I did a collab with him. He is also on YouTube. That's the name of his channel. He talks about pop culture and relationship content as well. So thank you for the $15. You're our new stream sponsor. All right, let's go in.
Boundaries good men must have with their wives. I'm not telling you to set the boundaries, but trying to teach you these boundaries so that you are not confused. You know the reality, and that if your wife is engaged in these behaviors, she's basically telling you that I'm thinking and planning to get a divorce. And the reason that I'm not telling you to stand up to these or that you have to do something about them is many good men don't have that strength or are not willing to take the risk of how his wife might retaliate in her wrath of him standing up to these things. And he has to be strategic in navigating if it is his goal to keep his family together and to stay. So getting into 5 non-negotiable boundaries good men must have with their wives. Number 1, it is never okay that your wife comes to you and says she is bored and unstimulated sexually and wants to open the marriage or any version of that, which allows her to have sex with another man. Again, I know that seems like duh, but the amount of men who have reached out to me or that I have talked to that this has happened is kind of astounding to know that this is not an uncommon issue in our modern day marriages. And when they're in it and confused and their wife has made them the problem, they might agree to this, trying to make their wife happy or again solve some problem that she has gaslit him into believing he is the problem. Also under this is anything she brings up of wanting to experiment or try things with other people because she never got the opportunity. Do not fall for that. This is her clearly being devious and immoral in her behavior. Number 2,
Well, Lucy, I'm going to ask you to start with this one. We're coming in hot. I have some thoughts, but let me compose myself and say thank you, Tay Biz, for joining the membership as well. Another way to support every month. Thank you. Lucy, what are your initial thoughts about number 1?
For me, I'm thinking that woman already does not respect the man at all. For a woman to even have the guts to even propose something so out of pocket is just to me, it's just, I can't even, I have to laugh because if I even put that in my mind that I could even think about presenting to my husband, it's just so embarrassing. Never, first of all, and second of all, I would have all my stuff packed out of the way in a second. There's not even a question, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm out. So again, it's fascinating that these poor men, and I gotta go back to the history about the happy wife. She is a psychologist. She's a counselor. So she sees a lot of men coming in with those problems. So the fact that she's saying that it's something common that these men are coming to her about, it's really scary to see how this, how feminism and has given women the authority to think that they can come in and present something so disrespectful to the marriage is astonishing.
Absolutely. I have so many thoughts on this one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't even imagine this. But ladies, before you get all upset, I know this new modern world that we live in has encouraged women to go out there and have all these experiences and act like a man. I will tell you, and I will tell you, we are not the same. We are not equal. We are equally valued, but we're very different. One of the things that is very important to a man, not only is to be the king of his castle, but I'm going to say it, to be the king in the bedroom. And ladies, if you go against that natural order, and we talked about this last week, when you lead with your, intimate skills, your man is going to be thinking, well, where'd you learn all of that? And you can say whatever you want to, ladies, but there is a reason why purity and, less experiences is important to a man. If you don't want a relationship, then this is not the place for you. So this is why we encourage young ladies to get into relationships before you're out here having all these experiences. There is nothing that once you get in your 30s and your 40s and you've been doing whatever you want to do with whatever you want to do it, the late, great Kevin Samuel said it's hard to pair bond because ladies, you've got all these comparisons that you're making in your head and no one man is going to be able to be all things to everyone. But when you grow together and you build together and you allow each other to learn and you have that sacredness between you, I don't really see the need to really go outside of that. I know people do what they want to, but it's shocking to me, like Lucy said, she is an actual therapist. So she counsels men and women. We believe in the older women teaching the young here. I don't feel like I have a place to speak to men, but like she said, this is happening a lot. But for a woman to say, oh, I never had these experiences, so now I want to. Number one, you don't need those experiences. It's not going to help you. Nothing that you're doing out there with other men is going to be beneficial to your husband, because these are precisely the women that now want a man to take them with all of their baggage and be loyal to them. Not everybody is cut out to be a wife. And ladies, if you need to go taste the rainbow, if you needed to go ride the carousel, if you need to go do all of that, you are not a wife. Doesn't make you a bad person, but you are not a wife. Because as wives, we look for our husbands to be our, our one and only, or our best, or we really don't desire anything outside of that. Now, if you can't commit to that, just acknowledge it, and maybe, you just need to date. But taking a husband and putting him through this kind of chaos because you need to go have other experiences, especially post-marriage, it's so disrespectful. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Thank you again, Tay-Biz, for coming in here. I know we're coming in hot already. Just another Mark says, an open marriage is a marriage that is already over. Insanity. I'm going to hold my judgment here because I have heard, and I know different people do different things. Over here, we come from traditional backgrounds, but ladies, I will tell you that the man of your dreams is not looking to share you. And I will just say that, all right? Jurgen is saying that is a no-go. Yes, we came in blazing hot. It is debauchery. Yeah, I mean, in marriage, there are some things that are just, private between a husband and wife. And what you all do together, you can explore and have all the fun that you want to. But if you go ask a man to cover you for the rest of his life, and then you go have other experiences with other men, yet you want that first man to maintain his role in your life, I think you're very confused. All right, let's go in for number 2.
It is never okay for your wife to say that she wants to have a friendship or some sort of platonic relationship with another man under any circumstances. This includes if she wants to reconnect with an old male friend from college or high school, or she wants a friendship with her high school boyfriend that she reconnected with on Facebook, or a coworker or someone on the internet, and she says they are just friends. You want to know, no, they are not just friends. This is the start of an emotional affair and very likely a physical affair. And if this is happening, she is showing you her intentions of going outside the marriage. Under this, it's never okay for her to go visit an old male friend or boyfriend. Do not let her gaslight you into thinking that that is okay. Also, under this, and number 2, it's not okay for her to try to get male attention by posting inappropriate pictures on Instagram or anywhere else for that matter. I know this seems like all of this should be very clear and of course, but this is where men get duped and fooled and think it's something they did or their fault or they are to blame because of what their wives have made them believe that this is okay. Number 3.
All right, everybody. I know this is a hot one. So we went from the frying pan into the fire. I actually had a gentleman tag me on Instagram or inbox me on Instagram to speak on this one. Is it okay for women to have male friends? And you heard the Happy Wife School. She is saying that this is a non-negotiable boundary. And ladies, I really don't see the point. Now, here's the thing. Of course, you all are going to come at me with your exceptions. And ladies, please be in the comments. Let us know. Because I really had to examine myself on this one. Number one, knowing that I'm an extrovert and I talk to everybody. Number two, sometimes you may do business with or have conversations with somebody that could turn friendly, but it is very clear boundary. Here's what I do. I make sure that my man knows about everything. I don't keep it from him. All right. So if I am going to talk to another man, you all know that Lucy and I teach the finishing school. And one of the things that's important to me is we run our curriculum by the men that we admire and we respect, because we want their feedback in addition to my man first. So we get the feedback of the men that support this community to make sure that we're teaching the ladies the things that are important to the men if you want a man. So when I have a conversation with one of our sponsors, my man, I'll let him know, oh, I talked to so-and-so today. This is the feedback that he gave me. But going to visit somebody, laughing it up, reminiscing, having all these, talks like you would a girlfriend. I think that's very different. And, ladies, to me, again, if your male friendships are more important, maybe you shouldn't be married. Not everybody is cut out to be a wife. I have heard women say, I'm not letting go of my friendships. I knew this man or this person before. And so the new guy is going to have to get on the program. But here's the problem, ladies. Again, because we are not equal, you are asking a man to cover you and protect you as your husband, and a man cannot protect what he can't control. So there's a reason why we have to fall in line so that if the worst happens, this is what I think about. If the worst happens and you were stranded somewhere, or you had a friend who you thought was just a friend and maybe he tried something, who are you going to call? Who are you going to ask to come rescue you? Who are you going to ask to come clean up the mess and stand by your side? So if you're going to reach for him in your time of need, then you need to respect him in your time of decision. And if you cannot have that conversation openly with your man standing right there, then you got something to think about. That's the barometer that I use. And again, if you're couples and you all know each other, church group or couple group or whatever, that's different. But just having male friends, just hanging around, and there's really no business at hand, I don't see the purpose. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, I don't see the purpose either. It's kind of putting yourself in in an uncomfortable situation, even if you think that person it has platonic intentions. Why put yourself in the situation? Again, I have seen other women say, yeah, we could have platonic situation, and my boyfriend or my fiance or whatever, he has no issues with it. I bet you if you really truly talk to them, they will have concerns about it. And they just want, some men at this point, unfortunately, because we have asked men to be, so understanding about the woman's ways. Some men have allowed this bad behavior to continue, and now they don't want to put their foot down because they just don't want to rock the boat, especially if they're married. Now they have a lot to lose. Now they can lose half if you decide to divorce. But then again, that should have been something for the man to have taken care of before the marriage. And I see this with what just happened at this inauguration, how this woman, Jeff Bezos's fiance, came in with an outfit that was showing her front side for attention. That is someone that will always be wanting attention, and she's got the engagement. So good luck with them allowing that stuff, because you know what, it's not going to end well. I can tell you that.
Lucy has spoken. All right. I see you all coming in the chat, and I want to bring you all into the conversation. But I agree. The men that we want, and again, I don't feel like I have a place to talk to men, but I know my man would shut it down in the beginning. Hello, Suave D. I have told you all where I tried to touch the stove and got burned. Thank you so much for the $10. He says, God bless you, ladies. But ladies, again, this is the purpose when you're dating and courting and vetting and being vetted. These are the type of conversations that you need to understand what the expectations are. Again, getting married is not just, I like you and you like me, and we're going to look into each other's googly eyes forever. How are we going to live in our day-to-day marriage? What is acceptable and what is not? And I will say this, sounded like mom here, but if they really were your friends, they wouldn't want you to do something that would hurt you. And I think friends, especially male friends, I have seen this with men, that they even like will put a boundary on themselves. It's kind of like, hey, you know what, I don't want to overspeak, or I don't want to speak for anybody. My idea is this, but run it by your man. Like, that's what I hear. Like, the men that have honor, they will guard some things. And my point is that I think your true friends, if they really want you to be happy in your marriage to succeed, if that means they have to take a back seat, and I'll say even your girlfriends, if that means they need to take a back seat so you can prioritize your union, to me, that's what a good friend would do. But let's see what you all are saying in the chat, because I know some people are about to get upset about this one. All right. Everybody coming in? All right. All right, so we left off here with the debauchery of the exploring outside of your marriage. All right. Taybiz TV says, the moment someone wants to include other people in their relationship, the covenant is most likely broken. I was listening to mediocre tutorials and reviews, and he was talking about somebody that went public with their relationship. And he said, there is no relationship that got better after you exposed it to the world. So ladies, sit and think on that one. Jürgen says, for a husband, that makes a bad wife and a bad woman. Oh my goodness. Jürgen is saying no, no, and no. Erin Laura agrees. Leanne says, this one bothers me because one of my closest friends that was my friend before my relationship is amazing and totally platonic. He is now great friends with my man too and would do anything for us. I tell my man everything. And I think that's the key. Like I said, as long as you don't have anything to hide, who am I to judge? But I think the fact that the two men, have their gentleman's agreement or their understanding comes first. And ladies, if there's no agreement there, whose side are you on? I think if you prioritize your relationship, you need to follow your man's lead. All right. Dr. Steele is in the house coming through. Hello to you. Pills, Potions, and Poisons is here saying, I don't have male friends. Never did. Whoever I'm married to or dating is my male friend. I've heard men say that. I'm all the friends you need. What do you need friends for? Oh, ladies, you have to understand this about the nature of men. Now, if you hear this and you want to go running for the hills, fine, go howl at the moon. The moon does not care. Men are very territorial. Men want to keep their woman, their home, their family in their covering, in their protection. That's just the nature of men. At the end of the day, there's a primal thing about that. And, again, because men are always ready to defend, maybe even to the death, why would you antagonize that? Why would you introduce something that's going to add stress to the relationship? Save that for the moments when you really do need to ask for an emergency. Don't just dangle that if your man is not okay with it. That's what I would say. All right. So again, thank you, Swab D. Taybiz TV says there's some men who think putting up with a woman's trauma is a badge of honor when he's really losing her respect of him. It's possible the respect was never there in the first place. And that's true. And it breaks my heart to hear, like she said, that the men that she's counseling are kind of gaslit into feeling like, if you loved me, you would allow this, or I never had this experience, or, we're just friends, or whatever it is. And then men are kind of made to feel bad that they're controlling, that they're narcissists, that something wrong with them when they just want to protect their woman. Ladies, again, they don't want to share you. I have something funny. Maybe I'll share it later. Just Another Mark says the guy best friend is usually the side guy, sneaky link, or man she calls when she's going through arguments with her main man or husband. I've been propositioned to be the best friend. Ladies, are you doing it? I have been propositioned to be the best friend. OMG. I did not know. Y'all, I don't know what's going on out here. Oh my goodness. Aaron Laura agrees. MVRX is agreeing. And Leanne says, yeah, my man is always number one. All right, we'll go back in. But ladies, I'm going to share this with you. And this is innocent. But you all know I have a cooking channel. And you all know I'm a boy mom. So when Marcus goes to work out with the Marines, the first time I just cooked for him, and then everybody else was standing hungry and I felt bad. So I was like, oh, innocently enough, because this is me. I just do stuff. I made a whole tray of food and I take it and, the soldiers are eating. And my man was just kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. I was like, I can't feed them. He was like, okay, fine. They're fighting for the country. You can feed them. And we had a little laugh about it. But ladies, it gives you some insight into men don't want you just doing whatever. He was like, because of Marcus, fine, you can do it. But he was like, hey, I don't know how I feel about that. Get mad if you want to. Let's go back in.
It is never okay for your wife to not be freely open to what is on her phone and share her password. If she is withholding that from you or saying it's her property and her privacy, or she is secretly texting and messaging or going into another room to have a conversation she doesn't want you to hear. If she's on WhatsApp and has a passcode on it that you can't get into, you can know she's hiding something and has devious and immoral intentions. That is not okay, and don't be fooled or duped that anything other than where your imagination is going is absolutely happening. And do not let her tell you otherwise, or why she's doing that, or why it's innocent. It is not. Number 4.
I think some of you ladies just cola passed right now. Do you lock your phone? Do you have things on your phone you don't want your husband to see? Now, again, I'm reminding you, look at the title, 5 non-negotiable boundaries good men must have with their wives. But ladies, like I tell the ladies I talk to, you don't go from 0 to wife. So if you think you're going to do whatever you want to in the courting process, in the vetting process, and then when he marries me, then I'll get right, it's never going to happen. Again, I didn't know this was an issue. I probably don't want my man to see the shopping that I'm doing, but there is nothing locked on here. Everything is open. I remember we went to a winery once and, it sat down, they had a nice breakfast buffet. And because I always make his plate, I left my phone on the table and I went to go make his plate at the buffet. Of course, he was sitting there and we were surrounded by women because most of these places, women are going out with each other. And they just looked at my phone and looked at me almost to give me the sister code, like, you're not going to take that with you. And it was face up, no password, nothing. And I just kind of, made a face like, we don't have that problems. If there's something that I need to hide, it's already too late. So, again, ladies, if you're going to ask that man to protect you, if you're going to ask that man to rescue you, if you're going to ask that man to maybe give his life for you, but you can't be open and honest with him with what you spend your time, who you talk to, the pictures that you have on your phone. What would you add, Lucy?
This was a good one because I have seen some, I think that there's like a man on the street interview where he stops couples while they're coming in and they say, how much do you love each other? Are you in a relationship? How long have you been in a relationship? And he says, are you comfortable sharing with what's in your phones? And it's usually the women that are saying, no, what are you talking about? No, you don't need to see this. So, we can be very sneaky. It's just so sad because our husbands, our men, they're just, for us, they're open books, at least for me. So to think about being so sneaky to have like, other accounts, checking with other men is so intrusive. It's just so weird. Even TikTok, I get some random DMs and it's like, what is this? So again, it's really strange because you do have access to a lot, and you do have just we have to be so protective of our own, environment, to allow other men to be in your business. It's just so odd that, that we could be so sneaky like that.
Yes, ladies. So, I'll just share with you in my relationship and, being married, it's one of those things you got a decision to make. And if this is new to you, if you're hearing this for the first time, if you have girlfriends in your ear telling you it don't take all that, ask yourself if you would trade places with their relationship or lack of relationship. I think it just shows respect. So again, we teach from our own lived experience. If I talk to another man, I let my man know. Or if I'm going to, hey, I'm going to talk to so-and-so today. He wants to sponsor somebody to come on the Maggie meetup cruise, just letting you know. And he's fine with it, but just the respect that I have for him, because I would never want him to hear about it after the fact and then be wondering, how long is this going on? So ladies, I err on the side of over communicating. Also, if there's going to be another man in my house, I let him know, whether it's an Airbnb guest or the handyman or, delivery or whatever. If somebody's coming in and doing some repairs, hey, just letting you know they're working on the fence back there. I don't ever want to be talking to him and then he hears a male voice, Miss Brown, can I talk to you? And then he's thinking, who's over there? So these are just some things that I do. Ladies, do what you want to in your relationship, but I have so much respect for him. And again, the men that we want, ladies, they are on their purpose. They are getting what done. They are out there slaying. And so our job, if you want to be a wife, and we're going to teach this in the wife lessons, your job is to make his day as easy as possible. Take those little things off of his plate so he can stay focused and remain in tip-top shape. And a lot of that stress that we bring to them is mental stress. If his mind has stopped doing what he's accomplishing and he's worrying about what I'm doing, he's less productive. So ladies, you are benefiting yourself too if you take all of this foolishness off of the table. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat, and then we're going to go back in. Everybody coming in, having something to say. Leanne says, yes, my man is always number one. Absolutely. Pills, Potions, and Poison says, if that friend means that much to me, I need to be with him. And ladies, that's what the men are thinking too. If you're running to this dude all the time, telling him your deep, darkest thoughts, why isn't he paying the bills? Why isn't he, dealing with you at all the different, times of your month? Why isn't he taking the good with the bad? So, and he may help you, like my man says, he may help you mean what you say. All right. So keep that in mind. Pills, Potions, and Poison says he checked you, Maggie. He did. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just over here feeding. But that's what I do, y'all. I just do it. And he was just kind of like, yeah, they were enjoying them sandwiches a little too much. And I was like, come on now. But ladies, that's how men are. Just another Mark says, y'all saw the chicken sandwiches? I made a Chick-fil-A copycat, y'all. It was so good. Anyway, he says, I saw that sandwich tray you made for them, Maggie. I still want a few of those sandwiches. So I understand. Again, ladies, men are territorial and they don't want to share. If you want to be passed around, that's on you. All right. Jurgen is saying, run, men, run. We got JT Coin Rings coming in with the $2. Thank you so much. Hello, Maggie, Luke Casely, and chat. Y'all are so generous today. Thank you. Thank you. Pills, Potions, and Poison says, my phone is mostly vanilla. Mostly. All right. Next level says, salute to the ladies and salute to the chat. Thank you all so much for support. And Erin Laura says, it is weird. All right. Just another Mark says, asking certain women to share their phone access with their men seems akin to asking them to share their darkest secrets. They then side eye us and clutch that phone like their life depends on it. Well, ladies, if the phone is more important, fine. Like I said, nobody is going to wrestle you to the ground. Just make sure whatever's on the other end of that phone can come rescue you when you're in a pickle. Make sure what's on the other end of that phone is going to be emotionally invested in you in the bad times and not just the good. All right. So just choose wisely. It's your life. You all saying salute 100. You agree? Absolutely. Pills and Potions is laughing. And Next Level says, fellas, stop being an orbiter. Yeah, I like this one. Kevin Samuels used to talk about those. I think he called them beta male orbiters. And I don't like to call names here, but gentlemen, and again, I don't feel like I have a space to talk to men, but I will say this, ladies, the men that we want will not accept being second fiddle. They will not accept being, dangled out here and just, I'll call you and I need a shoulder to lean on, or nobody took me anywhere for this holiday, so can we go out, and you just get your emotional attention. And also, those of you ladies who are single, and I've told the ladies that I coach, be careful about having male friends around you all the time. What does that look like to a stranger? Oh, she's spoken for. Oh, she's got a man. They're laughing and doing all that. Then you want to explain, that's just my friend. No, I really want a relationship. And he's like, I can't tell. Let's go back in.
It is never okay for your wife to go on a vacation on her own. If she comes to you and says, we should go on separate vacations, I just need to get away on my own and be alone and have some space to myself. Again, she has devious and immoral intentions. This is code for, I am looking to hook up with someone and you will never know. This also includes any version of I need to go find myself. And I have an episode number 24, of when your wife wants to find herself. So number 5 of non-negotiable boundaries, good men.
All right, everybody. How many of you ladies want to get your Stella groove back? And you want to go on these vacations? Now, again, a little triggered over here because I do like to travel. Sometimes I travel with my man, sometimes I don't. But again, ladies, I'm going to tell you, he has to approve all of my movements. When I started traveling, I book as a single. I travel with a group, but I am by myself in my own room. He has to review the itinerary. He has looked up the company. He wants to know what hotels are we going to be staying at? And I had to sit down and present all of this to him. Now, some of you modern women may think that's none of his business. What does it matter? Fine. Keep your attitude, just keep it over there. But again, for me, out of respect for him, it's already stressful for him when I am not in the area. But he works a lot. He produces a lot. I like to explore the world, but I do it in a way that still shows respect. Now, I would love to travel with him everywhere, but Lucy has said that these men that are on their purpose, they don't have that kind of time. All right. So we need to occupy ourselves in a way. So if I want to be a food and travel blogger and go do all of these things, there's nothing that I do. If he calls me in the middle of the trip, I pick up the phone and, hey, we're in this museum or doing whatever. If you cannot share what you are going to do or what you did do on your vacation, or you have selective pictures, you really want to consider that. And again, ladies, not everybody is cut out for marriage. Marriage requires sacrifice. Marriage requires compromise. Marriage requires transparency. So if you just want to be, leave me alone, don't ask, don't tell, that's fine. Doesn't make you a bad person, but I would argue that you're not a wife. What would you add, Lucy?
Exactly. And that's one of those things, if you want to have your, girl hot summer with all your friends and everything else, you're not meant to be married. Again, I don't take that many vacations. The only vacations I take is to come visit, Maggie in Atlanta. And let me tell you, to sell that to my husband, it took time. And, he needed to see where I'm going, who I'm going, who is Maggie, where is this? Again, I had to give him the entire itinerary, so there's no doubt that and he's thinking about my safety mainly, because I don't do these trips. I think the only last trip I did was to Miami with my sisters and my in-laws. It was all family. So again, a woman taking a girlfriend trip or to try to find herself, she's going to Thailand on, a walk of her life to find herself, there's more happening there that she's not telling you. So again, men, that is so sad that these men are coming to her to tell her how these women are even thinking about doing those things, and not respecting the man of the house.
Absolutely. Such a good point. And we've talked about it before, but I'll repeat for you all because we're getting ready to have our graduation again and the Maggie Lou meetup. Tickets are available. You can go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. Our students are coming into town, and the Friday night before, we're going to have a happy hour at Eclipse de Luna. Lucy has put a wonderful menu together for us. We're going to be in a private room. You can meet me, you can meet Lucy, and we'll eat, drink, and be merry. But like Lucy said, to have her come all the way from California to Atlanta, she said, wait, let me talk to my husband about it. And you know what I did? I waited. And when her husband had questions, what is Maggie's address? What is this place? What is that place? No questions asked. I provided that information because I am that type of friend that values, respects men, and appreciates her marriage is the priority over us having, an afternoon tea at Neiman Marcus, which is wonderful. But if it was a no, it was a no. So again, circling back to what I said, ladies, your real friends are going to want you to, yes, have a good experience, but only in a way that honors your marriage. And if they're asking you or encouraging you to, girl, go out there, live a little, have fun, and then you got a story to tell, you got some explaining to do when you come back, none of those friends are going to be around you saying, well, this happened, and then before we knew it, we woke up here. And let's see what you all are saying in the chat. All right, let's go back. Yeah, we ended up here. The next level says, fellas, stop being an orbiter. And you agree. Thank you. Jurgen is agreeing too. He says facts. Pills, Potions, and Poison says, worst thing anybody has ever seen in my phone was me talking about his sister to my cousin. Yes, and ladies, we're not saying you have to be perfect. Nobody's asking you to be a prude. We all have a side that, we present to people, and then we have a side that's, another side. But here's the thing. Your husband knows that about you. My man will tell you, yeah, he knows what he's got. Your man knows if you're a little bit feisty. He knows if you're a little bit like easily distracted, shiny new toy. He knows if you want to go to every restaurant. They know that about you. So this is not about you just shutting down and, rocking back and forth in the corner, but it's being about respecting your husband and putting your marriage first. All right. Young ladies, especially. And the first time you do it, it may seem weird, but this is a muscle and a skill that you will develop. Next level says Stella wants to get her groove back. She can do that over there. And ladies, young ladies, you can have so much fun, so much wholesome fun. And I think it's even more fun when you feel good about it, even the next day, the next month, the next year. A lot of these, older women that are single, that have been doing whatever they want to, what do they have to show for it? What kind of pride, what kind of moments, what kind of things can they say? Yes, I'm so glad I had that experience. Most of them are trying to cover it up and quiet it down because they don't want anybody to know they were that girl. All right. I talked to him. Dr. Steele says, when a wife decides to go take a trip without her husband, she forfeits her protection. There you go. It's true, ladies. We're out here. And again, if you're going to call that man from across the country or across the world or across town. I remember when I was married, got a flat tire, called my husband at the time, and he stopped what he was doing. I was out with a girlfriend. We just went shopping, went to the mall, got back to the car, and there was a flat tire. I don't know what to do. Called him. He came and changed the tire in the parking lot so that I could drive home. And you know what? And I just realized this now. That friend that I was with at the time said something that I'll never forget. She said, good thing you were where you told him you were going to be. And it never crossed my mind that I would have said I was one place and doing something else. But that gives you a little insight into the mentality of some women. And that's all I'll say. Saran is here, if I pronounced that correctly. Hello, Saran. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody doing well. Jurgen says this is automatically the end. Jurgen is going nuclear on us. Erin Laura says, we all know what Maggie gets up to on a vacation. Greedy gong gongs. Yeah, y'all already know. If there's a dance floor and food being served, you will find me. So, and my man knows what he has. He just let me know. I'm going to tell y'all something. Lucy, I haven't even told you. When Lucy came for the finishing school reunion, and my man came to speak to the ladies and give them, he was like our, keynote speaker. When he met Lucy in person, they looked at each other and just kind of got the big eyes like, oh my God, help me with this one. And I saw it from across the room and I was like, I feel so triggered right now. But they both were like, how are we going to control her? So again, your man knows who you are. Your friends know who you are and they love you anyway. Just respect the relationship. Erin Laura is agreeing. Everybody's doing well. Just another mark says, girls trips. Nope. I've been to Miami, Vegas, California, and I've experienced some of these packs of women out there looking for fun. Some of them still had indentation of their wedding band showing. Y'all are taking your rings off and preying on these young men. Oh my word, just another mark. That hurts my heart. Oh, thank you, Swab D, for the $5. Y'all are so generous. Thank you. Pills, Potions, and Poison says you're a good friend, Maggie, and understanding of relationships. Absolutely, because I mean what I say. It's not just empty speak, ladies. Lucy and I, we walk the talk. We speak from our lived experience. And who would I be to ask her to disrespect her husband? And Lucy will tell you she's not going to do it anyway. So I might as well just sit here and wait for Mr. Lucy to come back with a response. I'll wait. What am I going to do? Thank you all so much. Next level with the $10. Thank you. Says, ladies, don't let emotion override logic. All decisions have consequences. Choose wisely. Absolutely. Erin Laura's laughing. Thank you all for supporting. And Tavis TV coming in with the $20. No question, no comment, just the pure love of the lessons. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We got Gail at night here. She's traveled with us. Thank you so much. All right, let's go in. And I think we're up to number 5.
Men must have with their wives. It's a little different than the last 4 that I talked about, but I included this one for any dad who is watching that's trying to educate his son who is considering marriage, or any young man watching, or any man of any age who is considering marriage. Number 5, you want to know it's never okay that your wife not agree, or fiance not agree, to sign a prenup. If done well with a really good lawyer, they are very effective. And you do not want to marry a woman who is not willing to sign a prenup. The purpose is you are telling a woman, this is a serious commitment that I am making, and I am taking it very seriously. He's saying, I want to know that you're just as serious about this commitment in the marriage as I am to you. And you are finding out in this the character and caliber of woman that you are marrying. There are only 3 reasons that a woman would not agree to a prenup. Number 1, because she is solely interested in being taken care of and having financial security. Number 2, she's emotionally unstable and immature. And number 3, it's showing the degree of her selfishness and self-centeredness. And if she's any of these 3 and not willing to sign a prenup, there's a high risk of divorce, and she is going to be on the high end of the spectrum of woman ways that I talk about. So men want to be looking for, how is she going to gaslight you that this isn't a good thing and that you are somehow wrong and bad for suggesting it, or insensitive. So those are the 5 non-negotiable boundaries good men need to have with their wives, and knowing what is never okay or acceptable. That, especially with the first 4, if those things are happening already in a marriage, the marriage has failed and your wife has no intentions of re-engaging and making the marriage work and solving the issues. So remember, the purpose of this is for good men to know these are unreasonable. And of course, any man listening who's on the outside of this is saying, this is dumb. Of course, they're unreasonable. But this is what a good man gets trapped in, of believing it's somehow okay. And you don't want to be a fool to what's going on, or thinking that if your wife wants to do any of these things, that it's somehow going to solve some sort of problem in the relationship or solve her unhappiness, and things are going to be okay. It is only going to get worse from here. The marriage is already over. But if a good man is choosing to stay, to make it work, to make it the best it can be, typically for his kids, then you have to know these are the behaviors happening, what your wife is telling you in them, so you can be in the reality and not be a fool to what is going on. Some men can put their foot down and stand up to their wives in these and rock the boat. But some men will not, because they're weighing the risk and being smart and strategic of what do I need to manage and embrace the suck to keep this together and make it be as stable as it can be. Because many men will choose to go along, to get along, to keep the family together for their kids. But again, you want to be grounded in the reality of it and know that that actually takes a lot of strength. And to preserve your own mental health, your own sanity, you have to do it from a conscious place of knowing why you are doing it and navigate it from that place of taking responsibility for your choice and knowing why you are doing it.
All right, ladies. So let's unpack that last one. I want to start with how she ended, and then we'll talk about the prenup, because I know that's another hot button one for a lot of people, women. Did you hear her when she said that some men will choose to basically take the burden and stay in a relationship, a marriage, where they know that they have a wife that has crossed the boundaries, but men will take the burden on for the benefit of the family? Again, to me, that just speaks to the honor that most good men have, that they will deal with a woman that is difficult and disrespectful for their kids. Some men won't. Some men, like Lucy's husband and my man, is just like, look, you will figure out on the other side of that door. But it does break my heart, especially as a boy mom, to hear what a lot of men go through. But ladies, just be mindful of this. If you have a man that you know you are not doing right by, if you know you are keeping things from your husband, don't think that his silence means acceptance. It could be tacit agreement for the moment, just to keep the kids underneath one roof so he doesn't have to visit his own children, because he knows it may have already gone south, but if you all were to divorce, you're going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at him. A lot of these women, I have seen it and we have heard them, come on TikTok crying, my man left me or my husband left me for another woman, and it blindsided me. It never blindsides you. You know every day. And if you have a man who comes home to you, if you have a relationship, you have the leverage. It's your relationship to lose. So every day you have an opportunity to show him honor or to show him disrespect. And a lot of women get surprised when the kids are up and out, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to let you go ahead and age alone, because they have been basically eating dirt for all of these years. So if you are sowing bad seeds, you will reap what you sow. And don't think just because you have a man that's quiet and y'all say this, he'll be all right. Well, he didn't say anything. Don't make him have to say anything. You should know him and what bothers him, just like he knows you. All right. So going to the prenup. So this is something that a lot of, and I am not an attorney. I'm not a therapist. I am not an attorney. But to me, whether you sign a prenup or not, that's your business. I understand now, especially why it's important. And, I'll be transparent and say, even I had to be convinced, because from my own personal experience, ladies, we can think, I would never do that. But having gone through a divorce, what you see is that there are other factors. It could be attorneys, it could be family members. There are other people that all want a piece of whatever pie. And a man who has built himself, or a man who is going to build himself, he should have the assurance that what he's built is not going to be devastated. So if I need to sign something to give you that assurance, happy to sign. Also, I like what she said about if a woman puts up a fight. Now, I had some questions, but I understand it now. But if you have a woman that just goes nuclear, you don't love me, and, just jumps out of the window, you have to ask yourself, okay, now why is she reacting this way? Why is she unable to have a common sense conversation? I love that the Happy Wife School, she said that I'm showing you that I am taking this commitment seriously. I'm willing to sign on the dotted line. This is what I'm willing to do. These are my expectations. And if it doesn't work, this is how we are going to separate. I think that does show a lot of foresight, because ladies, we are the emotional ones. We are the ones that want to feel the love and want to get married, with all of the, hearts and flowers and fairies and birds. But that is a whimsical, and I'll say it, immature way of thinking. Men don't look at marriage that way. Men can love you and not marry you. Men can marry you and not love you. But if they are going to marry you, for them, it is a very conscious decision and something that they don't enter into lightly. Because if it doesn't work out, they're usually on the short end of the stick. And I'll just end by saying this. To me, it's the way she reacts with the prenup, as well as, some men are starting to do the DNA testing for their children. Again, I'm old and I'm like, how did we get here? But I remember when I started hearing this, and I went to my ex-husband. I was like, you got any doubts? He never said anything. I was like, swab everybody. I don't want you to have any concerns, because like I said before, when these kids are bigger than me, like they are now, and getting unruly, I'm calling you. And he was like, I don't have any questions. I mean, his decision. But ladies, I think if we take the moment to think about why men are asking for what they're thinking, we can have hopefully a more reasonable response instead of an erratic and emotional response. What would you add, Lucy?
And I'm glad that she said she presented it to men that have children. This is what you would want to have your boys do, because I'm thinking on the dating cycle of a relationship. This should be something that should be talked about. This prenuptial agreement should be something that should be talked about from the beginning. And that's how you start either preparing a future significant other, or you start seeing what the intentions are by presenting that idea to them. Do they really know what it is, what a prenuptial agreement is? Do they go out of control when you even mention it? Because, another test is when you're just dating someone, if you ask them what they think about Kevin Samuels, that is something that's kind of like a cross to some women, showing a cross to a vampire. You mentioned Kevin Samuels or a prenup. That should tell you a little bit the response that they gave you on what kind of individual you're dealing with. So again, I think that she also talked about some men are willing to embrace the suck. And that is something that she mentions a lot, because they are willing to put up with everything and anything to maintain that relationship. And again, that goes to what Maggie said. Men are noble. They have that honor in them that they will stick through the worst to be able to, to keep the peace in the relationship. So that is something that, again, it goes back to, us women not understanding what men are willing to put up with, and not appreciating them for who they are.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Then we have one question on Instagram, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all so much for being here. Hello to you, Jessica. Lindbergh says, some men know, and they're silently planning their exit strategy. Ladies, I'm going to tell y'all, mean old Mr. helped one of his coworkers silently exit from a relationship. And I could not believe this, but a coworker of his had a woman that was very difficult, and he knew that there was no future here, but she was one of the ones that when he tried to let it down easily, one of those that's going to block the door, or you're not going anywhere, or we're going to talk about this right now. Y'all know the ones that try to strong arm men into doing what you want. And he knew she was going to go from 0 to 10. And there was this whole plan. I was here for the play-by-play, but when I tell you, got another apartment, waited till she was wherever she was, let the lease run out. I mean, it was this whole like telenovela, and I'm on the outside and I'm watching, Mr. Coach his young coworker on how to exit this and basically leave without a trace. And now she's calling the family members, trying to find him. Can she make it right and everything? Ladies, here's my point. Sometimes your men, like Lindbergh says, they're planning an exit strategy, and you will find out on the other side of that. So I always say, ladies, ask yourself, are you doing everything that you can? If you're being respectful to that man or not, because you may find out on the other side and it's too late. Gail at Night says, prenup? Uh-oh, I know, exactly. And Lucy is agreeing. You're absolutely right. All right. And MVRX says you reap what you sow. It's true, ladies. Karma comes for all of us. It just is. You're not getting away with anything. You may be delaying it. It may come to haunt you a decade later when you're trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Taybiz TV is saying it's possible that a negative reaction to a prenup is due to not knowing what it actually is. There are some people that are not educated in what prenuptial agreements entail. And that's true. I had to be informed, because like I said, I'm with somebody I grew up with, and I'm like, but you know me. And he was like, it's not about that. And I was like, yes, sir. Okay. Jurgen is still going nuclear. He says, marry again? Never. Just another Mark says mandatory paternity test at birth going forward. And I don't see the problem. Like I said, swab everybody, but I need you to know like I know. But it's just a shame that we've gotten to that point, ladies. I don't know what games are out here being played, but a man who is pouring into a child that's not even his, but he's led to believe that that's his child. Can't even imagine. Lindbergh says, I asked boy moms this question. Let me pay attention. Would you want a woman like you to date or marry your sons? And honestly, you all, this is where a huge part of my learning has come. Until you have boys and watch them grow and see what they go through and realize they're going into a world and there's nothing you can do to protect them. And you just have to hope and pray that you and their father have raised them right. I think about this a lot. And, I don't talk much about the kids, but Marcus does have a little girlfriend. And she's really sweet. Not like him. He's like, and I'm like, such and such, she's so sweet. I love her. He was like, of course you would. She's just like you. And he said it just like that. And I just took it as a little win. I didn't say anything because, if I celebrate too much, but it just like, I saw her today and she's talking about the little care packages she wants to send him when he's in the Marines. And I'm just kind of like, I'm having a mom moment. I'm just kind of like trying not to get excited, but, whatever happens. And what I've told Marcus, I'm like, you're going to go out in the world. You've got the rest of your life to do whatever, your choice. But I'm glad that you remember having an experience with somebody who just innocently liked you for you, especially when men are going to make something of themselves. Of course, once you got your, big job and security clearance, all the women are going to come flocking. But I think it says something when, even at a young age, they choose qualities that matter. And I asked him, what do you like about her? And he told me, she's kind. Rodney says, aren't we all average at best? Absolutely. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Miss him every day. MB says, Taybiz TV, we grown. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Gail says, just like home, care, and life insurance, get a prenup. It's part of what people are doing now. So ladies, and this is what my man told me, ladies, before we get all upset. Even these royal weddings and all this stuff that we get so enthralled by, if you look at the history of marriage and two families coming together, there were clauses. There were things that would happen if the marriage were to separate, lands that might go different places where the children would go. So I know a lot of women get emotional about the prenup, but honestly, it's been around a lot longer because, again, the marriage is not just I like you and you like me. We're bringing two families and two legacies together, and maybe businesses and properties and all of that. So it needs to be thought of, consciously. All right. So ladies, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Tavis says that's facts. Just responding to the initial negative reaction of it. Yes, absolutely. And men know. And you all are agreeing. Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Everybody's agreeing. Thank you all for liking the live stream. This is our community service. Lucy and I come here twice a week. We got a something big coming Wednesday. I'll tell you all about. But we love giving back, especially to the younger women who still have the ability to make some different choices. Gail says, that sounds like you, Maggie. I love it. I forgot what I said already. Having a mom moment. Oh, yeah, she's really sweet and kind. She is. She's a sweetheart. So funny. All right. So the one question, they're going in on Instagram. We have Sems Kimono says, if a woman behaves this way, isn't the marriage already lost? Does it not suggest that the man has not set things straight from the beginning? And I'm going to say yes and yes. Unfortunately, ladies, if we're having this conversation, obviously, like Happy Wife School said, men are coming to her with these kind of questions because they're experiencing this in their relationships. They have wives that are basically complaining to them that they need to have all these experiences and they want to go do other things. And so she's basically coaching the men that she talks to on what to do. I agree. And, I'll give you all another thing from the wife lessons. Ladies, because these are the type of conversations that should be happening in the courtship phase. When a man is vetting you for marriage, the conversations are serious. A lot of you women who have just gotten used to dating, you think relationships are fun. You think relationships are always supposed to be fun. I'm just getting dressed up and going out and taking pictures for people who don't know me or care about me. But when a man is really looking at the rest of his life with you, he's going to bring these serious topics to the table. And you need to be ready to have these conversations. Sometimes it's going to be sitting across from a meal and really talking about some hard truths. If you're not ready for that, maybe you're not ready to be married. And not everybody is a wife. All right. You will have the fun on the other side of it. Believe me, you will have so much fun with your husband when he is assured that he's picked a good one. All right. So hopefully that helps. All right. So this was a good one, Lucy. This was a really, really good one. I'm so excited. Let me see if I can share with you all. We have a very special guest. I want you all to save the date for this coming Wednesday, January 29th, for our 9 p.m. session. Coach Ken Canyon has reached out that he would like to come share with you all. He is a husband. He is a father, been married for over 20 years, has 2 adult girls. He is actually a relationship coach. He's all over social media. You all can look him up at Coach Ken Canyon. He is on MTV. He has books. He has all kinds of things, but he is going to come here. We're going to talk to him. So we're going to listen to a man who is living it and who actually does it in the real world for work. So Lucy and I are really excited. I got some questions for him. So it's already posted. You all can set your reminders and notifications so you all don't miss us this Wednesday. And then Saturday, we'll be back with more of just me and Lucy. Lucy, what would you say to close us out?
I'm excited for Wednesday. And I love the Happy Wife. And it's so sad because she gets so many horrible comments in all her videos from other women telling her horrible things. So of course, again, I go in there and I try to be nice, but defend her because her heart is in the right place. The message is in the right place. And she appreciates men for who they are. And that's what gets women. Those women that have never had a man that has treated them the right way, those are the ones that go in there attacking her. So again, thank you all for being in the comments. Thank you for engaging. Thank you, Maggie. And yeah, looking forward to the Wednesday session. It's going to be exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited. We very rarely have guests, so this is a big deal. You all can check him out. I mean, he's got 200,000, 300,000 followers, so he's huge. We're small fries, and so I'm very honored that he wants to come share some wisdom here. Just another Mark says, if she and I are unable to have critical conversations in the beginning, how are we going to have even more critical conversations deep into the marriage? So good. So true. And that's what Lucy and I want to do. We want to give you all that tough love so that you can go out there and have a wonderful life. Thank you all for being here. We had so much support. So let me start at the top and say thank you again. Sunkissed for the $1.99, Taybiz for the original $15, Taybiz for joining the membership. You can join Maggie membership starting at $5 a month for monthly support. Swabdi, God bless you, ladies. Thank you. JT Coin Rings for the $2. Swabdi again with the $5. Next Level for the $10. And our stream sponsor, Taybiz TV. Y'all, please go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel as well. So we will be back Wednesday night with a special guest and hope to see you all then. So until then, we will say adios.
Adios.